Tell me what you do. I'm not ready.
Nice to see you. I see you. Hello. I see you have to leave your things in the lady show. I know. Yes. Mickey and them are coming. Mickey and them are coming from that wedding.
Questioning the public, raising the public's consciousness relative to the need in the city. There are any number of us who realize the need, who saw the need on a daily basis. There are also an equal number of people who denied those needs. So the first step was that consciousness raising effort, the initial effort. There were a number of students, along with young people, who benefited tremendously in this particular activity. It's been a long time to this facility to take part in improving the quality of life for each and every one of them.
saying some very strong things about the legislature, and I love them.
How are you supposed to get a feel?
Welcome, Little Joe.
What's new?
Director of the Boys Club of Brockton. And this is Al Anderson, who is one of our really hard-working members. What other title do you have? He provides us food a lot of times.
I'm on the youth program committee.
And he's on the youth program committee. And it's just nice to have him as one of our workers. We have so many. Of the club has been doing a lot of hard work as far as the club is concerned. We're just happy about the turnout this evening. We're all excited about what's happening in Brockton, and he's been a strong supporter of our club, and he's been doing a lot of work on the sidelines, and we're just happy to have him come out this evening at this nice party that we're having.
Thank you.
Hard-working board members.
Of the Park Commission. He's smiling.
See, boys and girls.
Wait and see. You better believe it.
Long way. Huh? You want to do one upside down? Okay, upside down. Hey.
All right, upside down. In 1962, I didn't have to hold it that far away.
$1 a chance, 6 for $5. Love yours.
Better be some ladies too.
My name is Liz Damaris. That's what we know. Silva, my wife Jean.
Oh, so nice to meet you.
Yeah. No, my wife
and it goes like this. Papa-doo-ah, papa-doo-ah, and the name of the dance is a peppermint twist. Papa-doo-ah, we're going to take a short little break. While you're resting there, for the special guest.
I've done 4 out of 5 girls. No,
attention? Let's get everybody inside the hall. Marciano, come on. Grab everybody outside the hall and bring them in. Yes. Just about everybody here, if you don't live in Brockton now, you've got some relationship with the city. And it's a great city. One of the greatest cities in America. But all cities are having a tough time. And there are thousands of children who live in big cities who struggle on a day-to-day basis. Who struggle. They're black, they're white, they're big, they're small. They have blue eyes, they have brown eyes. They're called children. And a couple of years ago, many individuals, men and women, got together, white and black, old and young, and in a very historic way, organized to help children. And once again, children have forced us to come together for one purpose, for one common, honorable, decent, wonderful, loving purpose. And it's what life is all about. This is a St. Patrick's Day type of fundraiser, but in Ireland, the traditional storyteller, every village has a storyteller, called the Shanachie. And the Shanachie tells a story, like my father used to years ago and like he still does. I'm sure most of you have heard Jimmy Lawton stories. But the Shanachie is a storyteller in Ireland. But there is no story that a Shanachie can tell that can come close to the story about the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton. Because basically it was a ragtag outfit. We had no money, but all we had was the power of the idea of helping children, our children, your children, And the idea has worked wonderfully with the support of the school committee, many of whom are here this evening, who, in their wisdom and in their courage, decided to give us the Armory building on Warren Avenue, which we're now rehabilitating, Dickie Cushman and all those Ward 2 people. There's a great Ward 2 influence. You walk in there and you see the Millettes and you see the Cushmans and the Hancocks. It's like old home week. But they're doing a great job. Hopefully by mid-May we'll open our doors. But there's another Ward 2 influence as well. Steve Bernard, who I grew up with, as you know, we're young kids. Steve's mother still lives on Foster Street in Ward 2. Directly across the street, or diagonally across the street on Foster Street in Ward 2, lived a woman many years ago, Mary Murphy, who today is Jackie Shields' mother. Jackie Shields is the vice president of this organization. Bernard was a basketball player and a great one. Shields, whose mother came from Foster Street in Ward 2, was a football player at Notre Dame. And I'm going to introduce that Ward 2 combination, Steve Bernard and Jack Shields, for a few words, who will then introduce the greatest congressman in the United States Congress, Brian Donnelly. Steve and Jack, come on.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming out this evening, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Everybody looks so wonderful, so happy. We're pleased that we could put this function on this evening. Give yourselves an applause, because you are. Boys and Girls Club of Brockton, Boys Club of America is a movement. You are part of that movement. You are evidence that there is a need for a Boys and Girls Club in Brockton. 2 years ago, we knew it. People on the board of directors knew it. We took the time, did it right, we went out, we met with community leaders, we met the people that we hope to serve. We invited people to testify to the need for a Boys and Girls Club here in the city. Inviting people to come to the 4 junior high schools and tell us about the problems with the youth in the city. And we took the message to the city fathers. We took the message to prominent citizens. We took the message to the business community. The response has been overwhelming. Over the last 2 years, we have secured a site, as Mark mentioned, 233 Warren Avenue, old Armory building, where many of us in this room practiced basketball in the fall, indoor baseball in the spring, played football at Elton B. Keith Field, played baseball at Elton B. Keith Field. And that same facility is going to be revitalized and will be the home of the new Brockton Boys and Girls Club. It's a great wonderful location in a wonderful, wonderful city. I'm very proud to be a Brocktonian. I love all of you. You have been my role models throughout my life. I'm very proud to have been elected president of the board of directors of the Boys Club. I thank my peers on the Boys Club board. It's been very, very helpful to me. I said in the beginning that no one person can do this job, and believe me, no one person has done this job. Everyone has participated. Blood, sweat, and tears. And yes, tears. Because working for children, working for the future of the city, is very, very dear to all of us. We can all remember our youth. We were defiant to our parents, defiant to our neighbors, troublesome. Many of us would not be where we are today unless we had a good family foundation, unless there was a good school system, unless the people in the city really cared about us. And I truly believe that these principles and qualities still exist in the city. some things have just gotten out of control. It's evident here that the people that are here tonight really care about the future of the city and really care about the children in the city that do not have the strong family background, the strong principles that we have all been very fortunate to have. We will be working with these kids, we'll be working with these children, boys and girls between the age of 7 and 17. I apologize to the children and young adults that over the last 2 years would have loved to have the Boys and Girls Club available to them. But in order to do this right, we had to take the time, go through the necessary processes, build a movement that would not fold. And I'm sorry to those children that may have gone astray, but we promise you that we'll work hard with those that have the opportunity of being serviced by the wonderful people who will be working at the Boys and Girls Club. I said that I have not done this alone. I'm sure that you all know that. Mark Lawton, I think 99.9% of the people in this room know who Mark Lawton is. He's a wonderful leader. Mark Lawton took the ball and ran with it. I will confess that it's very difficult at times to work with Mark Lawton. Thank you for supporting me on that. I'll say it again. At times it's very difficult to work with Mark Lawton. And he says, but there's only one way. I have news for you, boy. There's more than one way. But there's always the right way. And Mark is full of love. So too are all the members of the board of directors. We thank you for his foresight and his leadership. We also are very grateful to, again, the citizens that are here tonight and that will support us. We need your support. Please support us. Continue to support us. Don't come here tonight and say, I gave my $20, I had a nice time, and go home. We need your support. We need your continued support. I'd like to introduce you a young man that has become a very special friend of mine over the last 2 years. And as you mentioned, he's part of the Foster Street Award 2 connection. And of course, we didn't know this until after working together for about 6 months, that his mother was a neighbor of mine. Of course, I didn't know that either, but it's wonderful to have worked with Jack Shields and to work with the Shields family. They're very, very caring and loving family. And I'd like to introduce you to the First Vice President, Jack Shields. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. When I look around this room, it warms my insides because for so long, 2 years ago, we started in the bowels of the church here in Brockton, met evenings over the people's houses, met in schools. A lot of people said, why are you doing this? This can't work in Brockton. People have tried it. And thank God we had the core group that would keep going. And it was a core group of a couple dozen people who just kept this idea going, wouldn't take no for an answer, kept pushing everyone who stepped in front of us out of the way. And now we look around and all the support has come out as beautiful. And we missed a generation. Most of the Boys and Girls Clubs came into existence another generation ago. But we won't miss this generation. And we'll be able to keep some kids from falling in the cracks. And if we save one child, all this has been worthwhile. It is, if you can't get excited for children, you just can't get excited. And I think that's why everyone's here tonight. And the core group is handing the ball over tonight to Brockton. I think the other reason we're all here is because you're all true Brocktonians that are proud of this city, and you know that we're at our crossroads. And you know that this is an important aspect. suffice it to say, there's been many people around Brockton who have donated very generously. I'll spare them the embarrassment by mentioning them, but they know who they are. They've been terrifically generous, and they've helped keep this dream alive. Without any further ado, I'd like to introduce a person who he spoke to 2 years ago and kept pushing this idea. A person who could have easily appeased us and said, "I'm behind you," but instead he took a very active role. He's not a Brocktonian, but he represents Brockton, Massachusetts. He's a great congressman who has taken a very active role in this. When we were planning this event, I don't think there was any person who was more fired up to go out and to collect donations than our Congressman Brian Donnelly. This time I'd like to introduce the finest congressman in Massachusetts, Brian Donnelly.
I will tell you, it's said that Brockton's a city of champions. And if there's two champions I know, are the two people that just stood right here, Jackie Shields and Steve Bernard. Stand up. Tonight's all about kids. Tonight is all about kids. Because the future of this city is not, in all due respect, all of us. It's the people that aren't here tonight, the young people. And you're all here, and the effort that's been put in by the board of directors of the Boys and Girls Club, and the people that have expended over the last 2 years their time and their effort to make not only tonight a reality, but to make that old armory the finest and best youth facility in southeastern Massachusetts, and the kids of Brockton deserve nothing better, and they'll get nothing better because you're here to see. 1990 is, I think, a crossroads year for the city. We have a decision to make in the city of which way we go. We can go up, we can slide along, or we can go down. And the best and most sure way that we can go up and make this a better place to live than a community that we had to grow up in is to make sure that the Boys and Girls Clubs becomes a reality. Because in reality, there's nothing more that we can do. There's no better legacy that we can leave. It was said that I don't come from this city. No, I come from a city up the road. I grew up in a little community in a city up the road called Dorchester. And I can tell you tonight, I can say to you tonight and look you straight in the eye that I wouldn't be standing here, Brian Donnelly, member of the United States Congress, if it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club of Dorchester. And you ought to give the kids in Brockton the same opportunity that I have. And we're going to do that because it starts tonight. It can't become an effort of a small group of people. It will only achieve the people from the east side and the west side. People from every ethnic group in the city. Brockton's always been a multi-ethnic city with never any problem with all people growing up together, living together, knowing each other, obeying and understanding what community involvement is all about. And that's what the Boys and Girls Club will be all about. It'll be about the kids of the city and the future of this city. There are so many people up until this point in time that have made an idea or a reality that it's become somewhat embarrassing to pick out one person. But tonight we have to do that because we wouldn't be at this point without one person. And I'll tell you, that individual wouldn't come tonight. Wouldn't come. Because they're the type of person that just does things and gets involved in community efforts, not because they want their name mentioned, not because they want to be on the front page of the Enterprise or the Globe or the Herald or the Quincy Patriot Ledger. They do it because it's the right thing to do. So the individual running tonight won't be here, but his friend will be here. His friend's coming up now to accept the award for Gerry Kelleher, because we wouldn't be in the building without Gerry Kelleher. We wouldn't have raised the seed money necessary to put the package together without Gerry Kelleher. But Gerry came and did the effort and doesn't want to be acknowledged. Well, damn him. We're going to acknowledge him. He likes it enough. And let me ask George County to come up. Just a small presentation. Gerry's best friend George is going to come up and accept a small presentation on behalf of Gerry Kelleher. And if Gerry doesn't want it, to hell with him. He's getting it one way or the other. Thanks. Thanks, George.
This plaque reads, Champion of the Year. Brockton has always been a city of champions. Rocky Marciano and Gerry Kelleher are two of its greatest champions. The children of our great city have shared the victories and successes that these two men have worked so hard for. That sharing has allowed these children to count those victories and successes as their own. Such is what inspiration and hope are made of. Such is what Marciano and Kelleher are made of. The Board of Directors of the Boys and Girls Club of Brockton, and most importantly, the children of our city, tonight honor Mr. Gerry Kelleher, our champion for 1988, 1989, 1990.
Saying too much. And I'm just saying the way he wanted. Thank you for everything, and it's nice to be here to take this award on his behalf. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, be with us for a few more minutes. You have to admit it. When you were growing up, what did you want to be? But for a cowboy, you wanted to be a policeman and a fireman. Right? Or at least I did. I was the oldest of 5 boys, and we all wanted to be policemen or firemen. Who didn't? That's because they were always chasing it. And for good reason. However, the police and fire in this city are with us tonight, and they're very well represented. Lieutenant Pete Crone and I have been friendly for many, many years. Peter and a bunch of policemen have formed a hockey team, the Black and Blues. And they have played a hockey team with the Boston Bruin alumni, and they have raised money for our children. And I want to have Lieutenant Pete Crone and his union members come up. They have some presentations to make to our congressman and our president and our vice president. Peter? Pete, can you please come? Guys, why don't you come up here?
We have here Assistant Captain Frank Noon and Assistant Captain Peter Jerome from the hockey team. And supporting the Boys and Girls Club, we also have raised for the Bruins game. We're going to turn over $12,000 tonight on behalf of the Boys.
And his band, they're a very rowdy bunch of firefighters. My mother's father, Grampy Cashman, who lived in Galen Street down the east side, was a firefighter for I think 42 years. And I always had a special soft spot in my heart for the firefighters. Peter Geiler is here tonight with a contingent of Brockton firefighters, and they also have a banner as well as a presentation to make. Thank you, Matt.
Billy Pratt, Secretary Treasurer of the Union. Billy Donovan, Secretary of Club 144, was put half of this in. Billy Harris, Richie Baker, Mo Hancock, members of our executive board, George Churchill and John Kruplas, who run our muscular dystrophy drive, which we put most of our efforts into. What we have here tonight, we're not going to have a fundraiser until April. But I do have here right now a check for $5,000 for the boys. We'll continue to do whatever we can for this effort. We just think it's the greatest thing in the world. And we thank you for being here, believe me. We hope everybody continues to support this effort. Thank you very much.
Can I just say this? Isn't it fun helping kids? And you know, if we continue to get infectious, we could actually change the world. Huh? I think it's actually happening right as we talk. If you've been blind, you haven't seen it. But there is a whole panoply of wonderful sports photos memorializing these sports successes enjoyed by Brockton sports teams in the past. For instance, when Louis Pina was about 160 pounds lighter, I used to watch Louis. You wouldn't recognize him today, but Louis was a great ball player. Of course, we all know about the Bernards and the Baldwins and the Joe Josephs and so on and so forth. But Brockton has, and the Jackie Riddens, Brockton has had thousands of great athletes. They've played at Brockton High and they've played it elsewhere. Cardinal, Spelman, or prep schools. But this is a great sports city, one of the greatest in this country. And there's no reason why we can't beat our breast and take credit for it. This evening, Larry Siskin and a number of other Brocktonians have gotten together and they have come up with an idea of sponsoring a Brockton Sports Museum at the Brockton Boys and Girls Club, which will memorialize not only great sports successes of the past, but it's a place where anybody who participated in sports, whether they won or lost, whether they held the record or not, they can hold a place of honor. And it's a great way for the kids who will come in and participate in the Brockton Boys and Girls Club. It'll be a great way to see what has gone before them in the city and what they have to look forward to. And I just want Dave Hancock, the Vice Chairman of the School Committee, and Larry Siskin to come up just for a moment, just to talk about that effort before we wrap this program up. Larry? As you know, Larry scored many a touchdown for Brockton High.
Well, thank you very much. I want to tell you that three tributes really are in order. First and foremost is a tribute to Mark Lawton, without whose endeavors this night could not be possible, and certainly the club would not be at the state that it is in. To Steve Bernard, to Jack Shields, to Congressman Brian Donnelly, to all of the celebrities, sports figures, political figureheads, this is the evening that is really going to be a memorable evening. A tribute goes to each and every one of you who are here tonight because you are supporting a great, great endeavor. You've heard lots of speeches at this point. You know the reasons why this endeavor is so important. And thirdly, there's a tribute to the athletes of Brockton and the future athletes. There are some great, great sports heroes that have come before us. You have seen some pictures, as Mark has pointed out, that is in the hallway. We have memorable sports heroes. We have the great Rocky Marciano. In more recent times, we have the great, marvelous Marvin Hatton. We have high school sports heroes. Those have been in the past, and I have been given the great privilege and honor to become the chairman of the Brockton Sports Museum. And I know for myself and Mo Hancock that I can pledge to you the greatest effort to make this sports museum a place where kids can look to for future guidance, for the past memories that have made this city a great city.
Jim.
And I know that we will succeed. In order to succeed, however, we are going to need the encouragement, the financial support of individuals and corporate gift givers. I think we have a great strength in this city. Congressman Brian Donnelly has pointed out to you that this probably is one of the greatest sports towns in the United States. And I'm sure that I can try to pledge to you this evening that we will make Brockton a very proud place for not only our young people, but for our older people, the sports legends that have preceded us, and the sports legends we hope that continue to come from a great city. Thank you.
Mark wants me to, by the way, I'm Dave Hancock. My brother Mo preceded me. I think my kids know me, but thanks a lot. I know Larry. I'd like to, first of all, present the greetings of the city. Mayor Pataro is unable to be here tonight. He's out of the city and on business in Washington, D.C. And also Superintendent of Schools, Matt George, who is recovering from a major surgery. I wish him good health, and I'm sure he'll be back in supporting the Boys and Girls Club, as we all have. It's my pleasure to announce that the school committee as a whole has always been 1,000% behind the Boys and Girls Club. We try to take care, hopefully, of our children's academic skills, and I think the Boys and Girls Club can take care of the rest. At this time, I've been ordered by Mark to say, we've got a raffle out back for a Bobby Orr hockey stick, so don't forget it, okay? Okay. I can't forget to mention all the great help that's been going on down at the Armory. The Armory, if anybody stops by and takes a look at it now, is an altogether different place than it used to be. With Dick Cushman and all his volunteers have done a fantastic job. I think everybody should give them a great hand and hope they continue. Dick is up in that corner here standing up, our new television celebrity. Well, thanks a lot, everybody, and I hope that this Boys and Girls Club doesn't stop here. We've got to continue on and keep supporting it 1,000% like Mark has urged me. Thanks a lot.
We're just going to wrap this up in 92 seconds. People like Pat Barnes has been plugging this night and plugging the Boys Club for some time. Is Pat Barnes here? I just want to thank Pat. Pat's done a tremendous amount of work. Frito-Lay donated to Munchies, and Phil Nicholson is here, and I just want to thank Phil. But there are thousands of people, literally, who have helped us back. Some of the names appear outside on that placard. We obviously can't thank everybody. But in your hearts, if you've done something, you know you've done a good thing. We want to thank you all. There just isn't enough time to publicly thank everybody now. I'm going to introduce Brian Donnelly in closing remarks, just to wrap it up, and introduce some people running for statewide office. Because of my position, I can't do that. See? Because I'm supposed to be apolitical, and of course you all know that I am. And I am. So anyway,
I'm going to introduce my pal Brian Donnelly to wrap this thing up before Kerry Powers comes up here and graces our presence with her voice. She's ready. Brian?
Let me ask the indulgence of all the elected officials from Brockton and ask you that I won't introduce you because anybody in Brockton is here and everybody knows you're here and you've been with us from day one. But we do have some guests, people that have traveled long distances to be with us this evening to support our effort in helping the children of this city. So I would take just 5 to 10 seconds to introduce some of the good friends that have taken the time to be with us tonight. First is an old friend, and I see him out in the back of the hall, Speaker of the House, candidate for State Treasurer, George Kelleher. George. Right over here on this side of the hall, the president of the school that I was lucky enough to graduate from, Boston University candidate for Governor, John Silver. Who is now presently serving as our Attorney General, a good friend, Jimmy Shannon. Jimmy. We have a visit from the mayor of my city, the city of Boston, Ray Flynn. Ray? God, they're yelling names at me here now. You know who was here tonight? Who was not here? It was very nice of him to come. Former athlete himself. He came because this was for kids. I don't think he's going to run for public office. But former Boston Celtic, Dave Collins. We also have with us Republican candidate for State Treasurer, Joe Malone. Another candidate for governor, for United States Senator, Dan Daly, Republican. Dan Daly. Dan. We also have with us a very good friend of mine who I served in the legislature with, one of my closest friends, Representative Bill Galvin, candidate for State Treasurer. Billy. God, if I make a mistake, I'm dead. Lieutenant Governor candidate, State Senator from the South Shore, we know very well, lives in Weymouth, represents the South Shore. State Senator Bill Golden, candidate for Lieutenant Governor. Billy Golden. State Senator Dick Krause, who's a candidate for State Treasurer. Dick? Please, Dick, back to the hall there. Attorney General Scott Haschbager, who's the district attorney for Middlesex County. My God, this is all about kids, and all we do is talk about politicians. Is there anybody I missed? State Senator Mike Creed. I don't know when he's around the corner, but he's here. God bless you, good night. We're here for a party. Let's have a party for the kids.
Thanks, Congressman. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to another lovely young singer here. Without any introduction, good round of applause there for him. It's Kerry Powers. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, give a good round of applause there.
That's my wife.
next Lithuanian festival. That is great. We have a lot of people. A member in Waltham, where I grew up. It's a great organization, and this turnout tonight is fabulous. It shows that the city of Brockton is behind the Boys Club 110%.
To be here, and it's always good to support the Boys and Girls Club, not only in Brockton, but Boston, because it's a marvelous organization. It's my honor to be here. Thank you.
And save the other one. You might want a picture too. The next hockey stick, 656-253. 656-253. We have a winner over here on the right. We have a winner. This one's been autographed by Bobby Orr. And the last hockey stick, 656-320. 320 in the last 3 minutes. Up back of the, we have a winner. Okay, another autograph stick by himself, Bobby Orr. Six, 5, 6, 3, 2, 0. Right. Very good. The next is an autographed picture by Bobby Orr, and the number is 656-240. 240. That picture, this is Marge Blackwood, our rep from Stoughton, who's running for Lieutenant Governor. Pick a lucky number, Marge. Oh, wait a minute, I need to see this number. Marjorie has picked 656-228. 228. Anyone have that number? We have one up back. Great. Thank you, Marjorie. The next autograph picture is 656-280. 280. Anyone have that number? 656, this is a good number. 656-400. 400. 267. 267. All right. The Bruins are lucky tonight. Tonight. Lastly, is Nick Penny over, sir? Someone say.